why do I always forget to check my settings here? Hold on. Just want to make sure. Okay, all right, there we go. I remember everything until we go live, and then it's like, oh, that's what I forgot to do. Okay, so there we go. We're all good. Warning! The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to. Maybe not that one. Especially if you're wearing headphones. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and 2 parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming. Unlike my regular videos where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my pre-recorded, edited, because now I don't know how to read, videos instead. Viewer discretion is advised. As always, you should all know this by now. Oh my goodness, where am I? And oh, there we go. Hello, I just made it from the awkward turn from the main computer to the actual camera I'm filming at. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hey, Joe. Welcome. Another Wednesday. Last Wednesday of the month. I don't know what day it is. It's today. That's what today is. It's today. I know that I should be maybe announcing the date. Hey, James. Hey, so hello. Let me just show some chat love here. Hello. Well, hopefully not too wacky. I do have work to do. So hello, my friend. Hello. Oh, it's like usually we see you on in the House of Bob chat. Welcome to the regular chat. Welcome to the regular daytime show that we have today. Thank you. Welcome everybody. So yeah, like I said, it's like today is today, and it's going to be what it's going to be. The date's in the title if you need to know what today is, because I can no longer tell time and dates and whatnot. It's just everything just runs into itself. So hello, everybody. My name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, an illustrator, and a comic book artist from New York, which might explain a lot. I have been self-publishing since self-publishing comics since 1992. And I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure tall tales right here with issue 4 coming out later. No, volume 4 coming out later this year. And I am known for my medieval fantasy soap opera, EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, which I finally got all of the files to all of the printers. I should be getting these. I should be getting issue 4 for the Kickstarter back soon. Hopefully it won't take too long. Hopefully supply issues won't affect me too much. So everything's at the printers for that. Hey, Aria. Hello. Oh, there we go. Hello. That's like all the Europeans come on in. Well, although you don't consider yourself European, right? Do British people consider themselves European? Not anymore, right? I don't think they ever did. So in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS, online.com and egoworks.com, EGOWRKS. And you can check out all of my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lager. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I go live. And yes, and if you are joining me from regions beyond, if you're joining me from Facebook, joining me, if you find the links on Twitter or wherever, yes, come on over to YouTube. It's a lot easier. Look at all the sexy people in the chat right now. Look at this, and a veritable international chat right here that you can join, that you can interact with while I'm, working live here. So, come on over to YouTube and subscribe and do all those things that make the algorithm gods happy. So, right. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Not Europeans. You're from Great Britain. That's completely different. Absolutely different. Don't compare us to those, the filthy hordes on the continent. Yeah. It's all in love. All in love. I would like to visit Great Britain. I would. I mean, it's like, I guess it's like, eventually I would like to start getting my travel on and make that, oh, flattery gets you everywhere, sir. I'm old, not that old. So yeah, so let's see. So let's get a little housekeeping done over here before I start. Like I said, that's I can't decide. I have so much to do, so little time, and this is why I keep lists for everything, because I this is the only way that I can kind of like push through and decide what I'm going to work on. But in the meantime, remember that you can always catch me and Nita every Monday and Friday on the Raging 2 network with our own vlogs at 11 a.m. Eastern. Oh, yes, and let's say hello to Nita as well. Wish her luck. She is going to be on Peter Palmiotti's Retro Peter Palmiotti show at this exact same time. So wish her well as well, because we can go back and forth between two streams. She's going to be a guest on Peter Palmiotti's show. So tell her, everybody wishes her well and good luck, and she'll do fine. So catch us every Mondays and Fridays, starting and ending your weeks on the Raging 2, the vlogs, this show with the title Just as Awkward as We Are. And also, again, I'm still holding my fan art merch clearance. I still have remnants of everything left. There's very little left. So if you have been waiting to pick up some of my fan art stuff from my store, now's the time to do it. I don't have that much left of everything, especially at 50% off. My stickers, my buttons, my postcards, some prints, even my sketchbooks are on sale. So if you're meaning to pick stuff up, pick it up now, because once I sell out, I am not reprinting anything. All the fan art stuff I am completely discontinuing. So now's the time to get it if you want to. Also, House of Bob Drawing Night Stream. I have decided that it's going to be on the last Saturday of every month. That means that the next show will be at the end of May. And also we're going to have a pretty fun topic. We're going to talk about erotic fan art. Speaking of fan art, and I probably will be doing some fan art on this episode. So yeah, so we'll talk about that, about Rule 34, about how everything's a fetish, no exceptions. We'll be talking about that on the next episode of House of Bob. So end of May, last Saturday of May, at 10 p.m. to midnight. So join us then for a more racier conversations and racier artwork that we can do for the night, for the day crowd. So join us then. And of course, just because I ended an EGORAVEN campaign doesn't mean I don't have the next one on the mind. So EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, Volume 1, collecting issues 1 through 4, will be returning to Kickstarter on August 22nd. So make sure you head on over to egoworks.com, sign up for my mailing list so you get notified when the pre-launch page is active, so that we can get that process started all over again. So if you missed this last campaign, don't worry. There's always a campaign that you can always catch up on. And yes, the individual issues, the regular issues of 1 through 4 will be available on this campaign along with the trade paperback. The only individual issues that won't be available are the variant covers, although I will have a smattering of leftovers from the issue 4 campaign. So I will be, making those available, those last bits and bobs available on this campaign. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, but before everything else, Tall Tales, Thieves Quest, Volume 4, collecting issues 16 through 20 of the Thieves Quest story arc will be launching June 13th on Kickstarter. I'm expecting the launch page, the pre-launch page, to be ready by the end of the week. Hopefully we can launch that. I'll be launching that on May 1st so that we can start that pre-launch process going. So let's show our furry adventurers some love when that goes live May 1st, but with the campaign itself launching June 13th. So again, keep an eye out for that. And that's it for housekeeping. So let's see. Let's just catch up with the chat. Let's see. Yeah, it's like, yes, absolutely. Let's draw some slutty animals, which we absolutely are on the next House of Bob show. So thank you, Critical Blast. Thank you, RJ. It's like, hail chat. Oh, there we go. Good afternoon. Ya boy, Hojo. Welcome. Hail Hojo. There you go. So yes, what do I keep telling you, Joe? It's the lighting. It's the lighting. I haven't been 18 for a while, so it's the lighting. Yes, absolutely. More spicy furries. And honestly, by request, I'm going to do a request on that next House of Bob. So not only will we be doing, we as a collective, enjoying, where I will be drawing some dirty fan art. I'm going to be drawing some dirty Tall Tales fan art. So yes, I am going to Rule 34 my own characters. So make sure you join us on the next House of Bob. It should be interesting. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Let me in terms of housekeeping. So let me give you a quick update of what's going on office-wise, because you all, if you've been watching my last couple of vlogs and live streams, you'll notice that my background keeps getting more and more janky as we go along. So if you don't know what's going on, what I'm doing is I'm slowly remodeling. Well, it was supposed to be a slow remodel of my office that turned into a quick one, or it's going to be, because I have major flooding issues in this office, it seems. And we might have finally figured out what the problem is. So I do have somebody coming in to fix it, and hopefully I won't have any flooding again. To give you kind of like an idea of how much flooding I was having in this office. Uh, Imagine if it rains all night, and you end up with the equivalent of like 20 gallons worth of water under your feet. So yeah, I was having a bit of an issue in this, and yeah, so we're finally getting that fixed. And because of that, I decided to like really, really push forward with remodeling the office, to kind of like make it look better for the camera, for YouTube, for streaming. I need to tone down this white paint on the walls, so that it's better for skin tone. It seems like if you go more like beiges or whatnot, it's better for lighting to reflect off of it. And because like I said, Joe, it's the lighting. So yeah, and it's just really, so if you kind of like, also excuse me also if I sound a little echoey, because it seems like every time I remove something from the office, I didn't realize like how much of an acoustic base like books and things like that actually give to a room. And the more I took out, the more echoey everything is becoming. So, unfortunately, my sound is probably not the best right now. But when this is all done, it'll, we'll get it back to normal levels. And yeah, and you know what? And would make a nice little tour. I'll make a nice tour of the where the magic happens, pretty much, when it's all done. So I had just removed the last of the shelving. So my walls are completely disgustingly bare right now. I mean, it's like, look at this nonsense over here. I mean, it's like definitely, a lot of patching needs to happen, a lot of painting. It's like, yeah, we might have to have parts of the drywall replaced because of the flooding. I mean, it's a whole thing going on, but hopefully it won't be as painful as it sounds. As long as once the flooding, we get that under control, I could finally sleep at night when it rains, because that's that's the worst part. It's like, it's raining. I know the office floods, and no matter how much I prepare, it's always like a mess. Like I said, the last time, I mean, no, actually, the last time it flooded, maybe it was like around 8 gallons of water. But there was one particular night where, well, one particular day, it was raining all day. And it's like every half hour, I was draining the office. I mean, I'm working and then draining, working and then draining. And I think that particular day, I must have calculated like 20 gallons of rainwater that I was dumping out of the office, and I was doing that in the middle of still working. So you know what? So no matter what happens, I still have to keep working, Oh, on Facebook. Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's like I'll rectify that. Yeah, it's like if you're following for updates on Facebook, even without a friend request, you're good. I do not have any private um like messages or anything. I do not have any private posts on my Facebook page. So right. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, if yeah, I mean, hopefully yeah, it's like, yeah, if there's a little lag going on, hopefully my sound is okay, so you can still hear what I'm saying. But like I said, if you're following me on Facebook, You don't need the friend request, but I will go and find you. I'm really crappy at keeping up with that. That's why my Facebook is pretty much open. There are no private posts on there, so you're not missing anything, even if you just follow it. So yeah, but I will find your friend request and and hit you up there. So don't worry about that. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you. But yes, so if you want, but if you do want to keep up with updates, there are several ways to do that. You can go to my website at egoworks.com and sign up for the newsletter. You get $40 of PDFs, of comic PDFs just for signing up. And you get like monthly emails from me monthly-ish. It's like from me about all my upcoming projects and campaigns and whatnot. And like I said, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm mostly active on Facebook. But again, you don't need to friend me. It's like you can just follow and you'll get all the posts. But that's but yeah, like I said, I will find you and I will accept your friend requests. So okay, so what are we doing now? So today, like I said, I have a lot going on. So let me okay, so since there seems to be plenty of you in the chat, maybe you guys can help me out with this. So or you know what, or why not do both? So let me just okay, let me just do that. Okay, so this is what's on the table right now for today. Oh, hello, good afternoon, Nicholas. Hello, welcome. So, hey William, long time no see. Hail, hail. So yeah, so this is what's on the table right now. So I have, like I said, it's like I have so much to finish, and it's like again we spoke about decision paralysis for a bit, for a while ago. I'm always talking about decision paralysis. And this is kind of like that, but I think we can kind of solve it. So I am currently working on these pages for the EGORAVEN and the Oswald Chronicles crossover, that if you had supported both campaigns, both EGORAVEN and the Oswald Chronicles that were kind of running at the same time, if you supported both campaigns, you are going to get a PDF of this story that I'm working on. So it's a 16-page story that's it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's like, it's awful. Either way, it's awful. So it's a 16-page story that JD Calderon wrote, and I'm obviously illustrating. It's going to be in full color. I'm just about finishing inking with it. This is page 13. I actually have 13 pages, 13, 14, and 15 to complete, so I can get these pages to the flatter. Hello. Oh, hello, Spore Hacker. Yes. Yes. We all got to do what we got to do, right? So hello to you, and have an easy day at work. Oh, and hello, Oliver. Hello. Hola. Hello. So I'm trying to get these pages done for my flatter, who is very impatiently waiting for them. It's a 16-page story. But technically I just have to finish 15 because I did the last page already, the very last page already. So it's technically 15 pages that I just have to do. So I'm almost done with it. I have the 3 more pages to finish, and then I can scan these all in, clean it up, set up the files, and then send them to my flatter. And then in the meantime, while she's doing those, I can do the shading so that by the time She sends me the flats. I can just color correct and everything is pretty much done. So I'm hoping to get at least this part of the process. Well, at the rate I'm going to finish these pages definitely by tomorrow. And then by Friday, I'll probably have the pages at the flatters so that she can work on them, so that I can have hopefully the story, the pages pretty much done by the time all our books come back from the printer and we have to fulfill. So another thing that I'm also having to work on is some sketch covers for the EGORAVEN campaign. Actually, it's not really for the campaign. It's probably more for the next campaign, because again, just because one campaign is over doesn't mean we don't keep thinking about the rest of them. So what I did was I did kind of like a rough go through of my inventory, and I have and pretty much I have very, very few variant covers left. It's going to be a smattering of it. So I already did a final count and prepped the next campaign with what's left over. And like I said before, the variants for issues 1 through 4, they're not being reprinted. So whatever I have left and available on the next campaign, that's it. Once they sell out, they're gone. I'm not reprinting them. But if you are the type that likes to collect the individual issues as they get collected into the trade paperback, so issues 1 through 4, like the regular editions, will still be available as individual issues, but all the variants will not be. So what I realized in my counts is that I only have one complete set of certain variants. So in this particular issue, I guess what I have here is that I realized I only have like one complete set of sketch covers. I have sketch covers for issues 1 through 4. I just have to color I just have to color in 3 of them to make that complete set. And I will be making this complete set available on the next campaign. So if people missed out and they want a complete set, that's where you're going to be getting them. So I have one of the covers here for it. So yeah, so if you want to see it, so here is the only complete set of sketch covers I have left for issues 1 through 4. And see, I have to color in 3 of them to finish it. So that's the other chore I have to do pretty much. I mean, it's not a chore. I mean, because I like, in the end, I like doing this, or else what's the point, right? So I think what I'm going to do is, like, instead of doing one or the other, we're going to see if we can do both at the same time. How about that? How about we challenge ourselves today? So what I'm going to do, because when I'm inking, there's going to be parts where I have to wait for the ink to dry anyway. So then I could put in, let's do that. So we're just about hitting the half hour, the first half hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show some love, and then we can, I could put the music on, and we could just start working and talking about whatever comes to mind. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see. And I will be right back.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Cast the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we've never never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze.
Hello, comic book readers and collectors. My name is Randy Zimmerman, and I'm here to introduce you to the Fellowship of the Indies. The Fellowship is a group of creators that came together for a promising business deal that fell through. But don't worry, because what came from the deal were 9 spectacular comics from diverse genres and creators. All 9 books are printed and ready to go, along with metal bookmarks, retailer levels, and even month 2 books which are being specially made for a short period. Just know that by pledging, you'll be getting 9 great comics, 32 pages a book, for the awesome price of $25 plus shipping. That's over 250 pages of incredible indie comics. So secure your copies today.
Discharged into space, changing the life of one hapless duck and transforming him into a hero called Wonder Duck.
So here we are back on the drawing table. And so what I'm going to do is let's do a little inking first. And then while that's drying, we can do a little coloring, a little mix and match, a little peas and potatoes type of thing going on. So let's see. So I'm just going to get my rapidiographs ready. And and just let me see. So I'm just going to put this aside for now. We'll just put this over here. And and we'll just start inking. Do a little inking. But my flatter. It's like she's funny. She's like what is it? It's like she keeps asking like when I'm going to send the pages. And if I tell her a date, or it's like, okay, I'm going to have it to you the first week of May. It's like the second it turns that date, she contacts me. Oh, are the pages ready? Are the pages ready? And it's like, oh, it's like, so I know. So I told her, that I would have the pages for her the first week of May. And and it looks like that's kind of what's going to happen. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I want to get this flatted so I can get all the other parts of the books. I still have to letter it, and and I would have to shade it. At least the shading I can do while she's flatting, and then once I get the flats, I just drop it into my file, and we're good to go. So I just have to, and then aside from some color correcting that I would need to do. I know I keep getting told that I should have her use the exact colors. But I don't know. It's like I had kind of started doing that in the beginning, but then it just got, I don't know. It got a little to the point where it's like, there's way too many characters. I mean, to have to supply um like color charts and everything, um and I still have to color correct anyway. It just, in the end, it's like it wasn't that big of a deal for me. So as long as I can just pretty much click and fill in the colors, then yeah, I'm okay with that. I have to actually, I have an entire issue that I just have to do that for, issue 5. I just have to do that. I just have to color correct that. And I'm actually kind of procrastinating on that because there's the opening scene to issue 5 of EGORAVEN. I'm not quite sure how I want to color it. So it's kind of like stopping me from actually finishing that issue. But probably what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to like work backwards and start from the last page instead of the first page, and then leave that scene for last. Because with the, it's like, because then at least with the other pages, I don't have to think too hard about it. And then with that one scene in the beginning, I can just like save it for last, and then I can kind of like think about it, or just decide that I didn't have to spend so much time thinking about it and just get it over with. So that's so yeah. Oh, my music. That's what I forgot to do. I knew I was forgetting something. So let me start that. Hold on. So okay, there we go. All right. Now I left the music at the same sound volume from the last time. So it should be okay, but if it's a little too loud, just tell me and I'll just lower it a bit more. But yeah, like I said, it's the same setting from the last time, so hopefully it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, so can you guys hear it? I just want to make sure everything is working correctly. Yeah, because that's yeah, there we go. Yeah, so one thing that I've been using this short story, although technically it's 16 pages. So if you figure like the most of the books that I do are 32 pages, so it's half an issue for me, this short story. So what I've been using this short for, as I worked on it, is trying to come up with, or not come up with, but pretty much, I guess, refine my my inking process, so that I can kind of like get through pages faster without feeling like I'm kind of hacking through it. So if you're familiar with my artwork in Tall Tales, which that's the book I've been working on since '92 when I started. That's literally my first published book. And the way I was inking was very time consuming. Actually, if it's like just to give you an idea of the type of inking that I was doing back then. It's very time consuming. It's very, I guess, like dense, or I guess a lot going on. I guess one of my claims to fame was that I had Will Eisner scold me personally about my inking style. Because at the time, it's like I was also like really influenced by Todd McFarlane's work. And it's like like a lot of us, it's like we had that moment where it's like we've never seen stuff like that before, so I started experimenting with inking like Todd McFarlane, or at least kind of like getting the vibe. And Will Eisner hated it. He was my teacher at SVA, and he hated that style, and he personally was up my ass about not, it's like, don't ink like that, it's like the lines are meaningless, and it's like all you're doing is filling up a page with nothing. It's like the lines don't mean anything, they don't go anywhere, they don't add to anything. So but it's like, but you know how it is. It's like it's like in the end, it's like I was kind of like, oh, what do you know, old man, type of thing. It's like I was an asshole back then, and I completely ignored him, and continued on my way inking like that. And you see, because the thing is that I was inking that way because back in those times, back in the olden days, it's like printing was a completely different animal than it is now. It was pretty, we didn't have digital anything. I mean, it's like I literally saw the birth of Photoshop at SVA. It's like, oh, it's Photoshop 1 or whatnot. Like I literally saw it when that first came out, and it was just like, what is this program? It's like the start of so digital printing was definitely not a thing back then. It was all still offset, and what came with offset was the price. So and if you wanted to print your comic back then, you had to print a minimum run of 3,000 books, and forget about doing it in color. Okay, it's like, forget it, that wasn't even an option, not even on the table. So black and white was the only thing that we could afford to do back when we started printing. So I pretty much developed my inking style back then based on that, just based on that it's like color was not an option, but I still wanted my artwork to stand out somehow. And instead of using, so at the time also, you had things like Zipatone, where it's like those little plastic sheets with the dots on it that you would, like that you had some artists use for shading and whatnot. I think that now the Japanese version of it is Deleter, I think it is, where it's like it's the same thing. A Zipatone was just, I think, like a trademark name. So, but that could get expensive. Using those sheets was expensive. And, so the next thing that I could think of doing was creating an inking style that I felt like I could use it to add texture to a page without having to spend money on it. Kind of, it's like, so pretty much I kind of developed my inking style because I was cheap. If I could do all the textures myself, short of doing outright stipple on a page, that was just a little, that was definitely a bridge too far. It's like, no, it's like, if I could do like all these different patterns and whatnot, I could make, I could just kind of like feel like I was taking advantage of black and white printing. So Todd McFarlane became in vogue, and we were all trying to imitate, what he was doing. And I was thinking, this really, and then it's like also manga started coming out at the time. And then it was like, okay, there's even more tricks that I could put on the page. A lot of, I became completely addicted to speed lines. I mean, even if there was nothing going on in the panel, it's like I had speed lines for some reason. But that was more because I was using it as kind of like a visual element, like a textural element, rather than speed lines. I mean, it was just so dopey. I mean, in the end, Will Eisner was right. The lines didn't mean anything. But sometimes these are lessons you kind of have to grow out of. You kind of have to learn on your own. So that's how I developed my inking style. And what happened is that as digital printing started making things easier, like all of a sudden printing a comic wasn't as onerous as it was back then. It's like now all of a sudden, I can print one comic, 20 comics, as opposed to 3,000. But also, as a result of this, color became completely a reasonable thing to do. And what was funny was, back in the day, if we had been able to do a full color book, that it would have been like fanfare for ages. But when we finally did do our first color book, which was an OSWALD book, we didn't even we didn't even think about it. Like, it was just like, okay, we got these books done, and that was it. Like we didn't even, it didn't even register, because that's how easy it was. And I wouldn't say technically inexpensive, because doing a color book is technically expensive, but not as expensive as having to do 3,000 copies of it. So, the fact that we could just do, because it's all digital. So, it's, so it's like, so now it's like, so doing color was just like a completely, thing that we could do now. Hold on, let me just, so hello, Jake. Welcome, Jake. Hello. I don't know if Joe is still in the chat, so I don't know if I'm going to play the clip. So if Joe is still in the chat, we'll play the clip. Okay, so you're having problems with Webtoon? Oh, okay. So, that's, yeah. Yeah, you know what is it? Oh, WebPress? No, not WebPress. No, WebPress is an actual printing thing. what do I use on my website? WordPress. Yeah, it does something similar to that too, where it's like if something goes out of whack, I have to redo all the strips because JD does he does like kind of like a daily update on the Oswald Chronicles site, and if something glitches out, I have to redo like an entire like several hundred worths of strips. I have to redo all of them just to be able to get something to run correctly. So I don't know why Webtoons thinks that's a good thing to do, but I understand. But I do understand. I completely feel you with that tech stuff. I completely feel you. So Nicholas is asking, so what pens do you prefer? I mean, that's actually pretty interesting. So about a couple of years ago, I did a video on my site, which on the channel, which you can still check out, where I compare all of these multi-liners. And what I ended up finding is that I do one of those videos, call out a preference, and then the next time I go to ink, I'm actually using a different pen. So so it is kind of funny. I guess it depends. Well, in the end, my tried and true, when I'm working on comics, like comic pages like this, I use these rapidographs. It's like I use the Kono rapidographs. They're refillable. I can use actual India ink in these. The thing is, though, is that technically I was never supposed to use these for inking. And oh, that's actually funny. Errorism. That's actually funny, Jake. These were like the first pens, like kind of like really serious art supply I've ever gotten from my parents, and I've been using them ever since. But what I keep getting told is like, oh, you're not supposed to be using these for inking. They're technical pens. These are for architects. Actually, the kit that they came in was specifically for architects. But I made them work for me for inking, and I've been using them always. Do I recommend them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I just, in the end, I never really learned any other way of inking, and these are what I just always use. When it comes to like multi-liners though, because these are awful if I'm traveling, because they are very messy, and never take them on a plane full of ink, because when you get off the plane, let's just say they will no longer be full of ink. So when I'm actually doing like more sketchbook type stuff, if I'm not working on actual pages, I use the Faber-Castell Pitt pens. And I've seen a lot of professionals use this. Actually, I really learned about these pens from, I forgot the artist. He does the art for Lock and Key. And he uses these pens to ink. Although I don't like inking comic book pages with them. Obviously he has his technique down, but I just rather use my rapidographs for inking. And this one in particular I use for smaller detail, because the rapidograph that I would normally use for really fine detail keeps clogging. I don't know whether it's the type of paper that I'm using. And hold on.
I don't know who it is, but it probably is for Hogwarts guys. I asked my friend Joe, I asked my friend Jake. They said it was for Hogwarts guys.
So there we go. So we are now official. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for making yourself known. Yes. Thank you. Yes, he's the artist for. Is he the artist for Lock and Key? Because I keep confusing him with all these other artists, European named artists that I follow. So yeah, so he uses that. But I use these mostly for sketchbooks. Like if I'm doing something like this, I'm using the Pitt pens for the sketchbook. But for actual pages, no, definitely. That's why. I mean, and here's the thing is that he started off as an architect. So I just find it funny how it's like, no, I'm a comic book artist using architectural tools for comics, and he's an actual architect using fine liners, multi-liners for his comic book pages. There is as digital came more into I guess made it easier to print. So how's the music volume? Should I lower that more? Because it's like sometimes I can't tell between like the volume control on my headset and the actual volume that's coming, that I guess like you guys are hearing. So tell me if it's a little too loud, and I'll lower it. So digital made printing a lot easier. Okay, thank you. All right, so you're saying the music is fine. So okay, good. So we'll just it's probably just my headsets then. So then color became a lot easier to do. Now we could just do color whenever we wanted. In fact, it's like when I decided to finally put EGORAVEN is that let's see. Thieves Quest. Okay, there's 3 story arcs to Tall Tales. There's Thieves Quest. There's Tears of the Mother, which I'm working on now, and then there's a final story arc that JD is working on. So I have 3 issues left on. Okay, so Thieves Quest is technically complete. That's a complete story arc. Tears of the Mother, I am 3 issues away from finishing. So I'm looking to get those 3 issues out next year. And then the last one, I don't know anything about. We don't even have a title for the story arc yet. So the inking. So when I decided to do EGORAVEN on Kickstarter, there was no question it was going to be in color. So I did it in color. And when I started doing Tall Tales again, when I started doing the Tears of the Mother, which I did a couple of issues. I did those issues before EGORAVEN came out. I began to notice that I had to change up my inking a bit because, well, a bit, because now all of a sudden, with being able to do everything, to be able to do things in color, I didn't need to fill up the space as much as I needed to in the past. So I started experimenting with kind of like a lighter inking style. A little, it's like I started doing away with all the doohickey lines and like trying to keep it very clean. It's like, but when we printed those issues of Tears of the Mother, what I found is I had gone a little too far in the other direction, And now it felt like those issues, I was inking for color as opposed to, inking a black and white comic. So I'm still trying to find a middle ground with my inking. And when I started working on this short story, that was something that I realized I kind of have to really figure out more, is coming up with an inking style that could still work in black and white without feeling too empty, but is pretty much inking for color. Like I'll be able to just put color in, and the inking works with that. Because honestly though, as much as we talked about it, I would just keep Thieves Quest, the original Tall Tales story arc, in black and white, because there's so much inking that would get in the way of the color that I would just rather keep it in black and white in the end. Now, Tears of the Mother, though, I'm seriously thinking of having that colored, because the inking is done in a way that really, really needs it. And I think that it's a good starting point for getting Tall Tales in color, without noodling too much with the original artwork. It's just like, okay, here's a new story arc, let's do that in color. And although that's not for a bit though. So what I'm going to be doing is that we're going to be releasing the next 3 issues in black and white, so that the 8-issue story arc is originally in black and white, and then we'll have those colored in and then re-release them in color. We just haven't really figured out the logistics of that. So for the last couple of weeks, what I've been doing with these pages is I've just been kind of burning through them with my, I guess this is a 0.2. This is a number 2 nib. And so that's these lines here, the very basic lines, and just really going through, tracing over my pencils. It's to put it bluntly, that's exactly what I was doing. And what I found is that because I got the base of my inks done like this, then going in with the other pens isn't taking me that long. Which is makes me happy that I'm finding that. And as far as I can tell, the pages don't look rushed, which is my also concern too, is that I don't want any of my work to look rushed. Oh yeah, it's because in the end, you have to work with the tools that work best for you. And especially with everybody using, digital tools, it's almost like a pointless argument to kind of say that's oh, you can't use this tool, or this tool doesn't, you're not supposed to use that for inking. Now it's you can download digital brushes that imitate everything. So now it's you're not using any tools but a computer. So in the end, even with all the comparisons, there is no best one tool. This is the tool for me, the Rapidiagraphs. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend it for anybody because they're high maintenance, they're messy. I'm just so used to it. I've been working with these for decades, and it's like I'm not really interested in learning like using a brush or anything. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. So yeah, because even with my whole marker thing, I am making a comparison video, but in the end, the moral of the story is that there is no one tool. There is no one best tool, because depending on what you're doing, you might actually need different types of tools. Like I said, it's like I use rapidographs until I get to finer details, and then I pull out a pick pen. You know, I mean, in the end, it's like that's what works for me. So, don't feel like you have to limit yourself to one particular thing. It's like in the end, you're using the tools that works best for you, even if it's multiple tools. So that's kind of like my inking thought process right now, that I'm trying to find, like, I don't think I have I'm not very stylistic right now with my inking. I really do think that I'm kind of like aiming more for a more utilitarian style, because of the fact that I'm going to be coloring these pages in, and I don't want to spend that much time inking if I can help it. Not anymore. I have issues 6 and 7 of EGORAVEN that are penciled, and I have to do, after I'm done with this short story, I'm going to start on issue 8, and then it's like I have to finish Tall Tales issue 6, and then I have to pencil out 7 and 8 for that. You know, and like try to get everything ready for next year. And so because of that, I can't have an inking style that takes me forever to finish a page. That's the type of thing that, 20 years ago, sure, it's like you think you have all the time in the world. And now I'm like, I gotta get this stuff done. Really, I don't know, because I'm not seeing anything on my end that looks like my connection's going out. So that's kind of weird. I mean, I'll probably scrub through this on I'll probably scrub through this on a replay and see if it's something on my end, because like for the past couple of days I've been having people say that it's like, oh yeah, you're kind of dropping out and whatnot, but from what I can see on my end, yeah, I'm not getting that. So I'll try to troubleshoot it, but okay, it stabilized. Yeah. I'm trying, so I'll troubleshoot it anyway. But like I said, that's not what I'm seeing on my end. So I apologize if anything, if anyone gets any of those, gets any dropouts. I mean, because that's part of the reason why I moved my system to my main computer, which is it's my main desktop, as opposed to running it from my laptop. So, oh, okay. Oh, all right. It's like, all right. Was it a staff meeting? Not yeah, no, well, staff meetings are never fun. So we were just talking about just me trying to find an inking style that I can, I guess, to put it bluntly, get through quickly without looking a mess. Like I'm pretty confident my stuff is not looking rushed. So and I don't want to like overdo it. It's not looking rushed, but it's not looking like, oh, this really needs to be inked more. Like I'm trying to find just the right amount of lines to put on the paper. So okay, so I'm going to let this dry for a bit. I'm just going to put this aside to let that section dry, and I am going to put down some basic color. So this is like the other thing. So this is so now I'm going to be using, again, tools that work. I'm going to be using a combination of 3 markers on these covers. So I like to use the Copics, the Blick Studio markers, and the Prismacolor markers, because they all give me like kind of different effects. And and again, in the end, it's like, yeah, you can ask which marker is better, and in the end, it depends on what you're using it for. So hold on, let me get my scrap. Where's my scrap back? Yeah. So we're gonna do that. And okay. Yeah, so that's the thing, because it's like, yeah, Copics they've been trendy for a while. And when it comes to using a brush nib, they do have the best nib for that. It's a very soft nib, and they have the best pigments for blending. But I don't think they're really good at larger areas. Like if you're doing like character details or something, then yes, then Copics would work for you. But when it comes to larger areas, I like the Prismacolors better. Hold on. Ooh. Okay. I mean, honestly, technically, I should have just muted that. You didn't need to hear that. So yeah, so it depends on what you're doing. So like, okay, so like in this case, I like using the Copics for the characters themselves, because like I said, the nib and the pigment combination lends very well to blending. So it gives me, it just gives me a nice look when the piece is finished. I remember the only thing that I don't like about Copics is that they are expensive. Even though technically they say you can no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Combine it all you want. Because like I said, they do different things, and honestly, it's like, I think that Copics are very expensive for what they are, even though everybody keeps telling me, oh, but it's like technically you save money because you can refill them and change nibs and whatnot. And you see, this is the thing though. It's like, depending on how you shop for these, I mean, no, not even. It's like, because look, because it's like, I've had it so that it's like, oh yeah, I had the markers run out and I had to replace them. And but the thing is though, it's like I'm kind of like, if I had a choice between spending money on a refill and buying a new marker, it's just easier for me to buy a new marker. Because refills, you know, you have to search for it. Not even Blick has all the refills. But they have the markers. So depending on, I guess, like, if you know, if you kind of like shop around a little, and sometimes you can get, you know, the Blicks on sale or something. It's like, it's just a lot easier for me to do that, to replace a marker, than to go through the whole thing about, oh, you can refill it, you can change the nibs, you can do this, you can do that. And it's like, do I really want to work that hard? You know? And then it's like, you know, and then it's like that there's the initial cost of buying all these extra things. I mean, maybe if this was a collection that I had built earlier or something, maybe it wouldn't seem so, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's now, if somehow, somewhere, sometime, I finally get the chance to go to Japan, trust me, I am bringing a suitcase just to fill it up with Copic markers. Because here, a Copic marker can be, oh, so how did it go, Nita? So how did your interview go? I mean, I'm sure it must have gone fine, you know, but, let's see. So, will Tears of the Mother ever get a restock? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Like I said, it's like when we have limited copies of issues 1 through 5 right now on the website. With a, you know, and it's like, and then what we're going to do is I guess, like another restock when I finally get issue 6 done. Because what happened, because also it's like what happened with when we did Tears of the Mother then is that we were using a different printer. And what happened is that now I have to, because of our new printer, I have to redo all the files because their their specifications are slightly different, but obnoxious enough that I have to make the files again, and I have to redo stuff. So I have to redo all those files, and so when we finally print issue 6, then we're going to do a whole new printing of everything. So, but like I said, it's just a size issue, not a content issue. So even if you have the original versions, it's going to be essentially the same thing. So don't feel like, oh my God, now I have to buy other versions of it. Yeah. Oh, hey, Mark. Hey, Mark Torres. You see, Mark, not Mike. So, Yeah, unfortunately, I am. It's like, yeah, it's like it. There's a lot going on, unfortunately. When I'm doing all these books myself, I mean, I'm literally doing like 2 comic book series myself. So yeah, I'm trying to schedule all this stuff in is a little daunting, but yeah, I'm definitely, yeah, I understand. I understand the wait. Because it's like this year I'm already completely, my campaign schedule is already completely monopolized with EGORAVEN right now. So, but that's why I'm putting Tall Tales 6, 7, and 8 on the docket for this year, so that next year we can put everything out. So like I said, I want to get those books, those 3 issues finished, and then I can put them on the schedule for next year. And then and then I'm gonna pile it all on. It's like yeah, there's going to be like there's a little Tall Tales drought right now, but there's a flood coming. Oh, here we go. At what point will I stop being a one-woman company? That's a good question. You see, the thing is that the only things that I would consider that I would consider like getting other people to do is the coloring. Like that, like, look, it took me forever not even forever. It took me like about 2 issues to finally realize I needed a flatter. And even then I had to angst over that, because yeah, it's like I'm just the type that it's like I need, it's like I'm just that type. You know how it is. It's like, these are my babies. I don't want to send them to daycare type of thing. But the thing is though, is that yeah, coloring does take a lot of time. And I'm not at a point yet where I can have somebody actually fully color my books. That would technically be the next step. It's like almost. Having someone actually fully color my book, that would be the next step. But I'm not at a point yet where I'm selling enough issues to justify the expense. And because yeah, if I could just do the pencils and the inking and then just be able to pass it on to somebody to do the coloring, yeah, that would be optimum. Honestly, that would be. I would fully take advantage of that. But yeah, that's not the case right now. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. I mean, I see what like JD is testing out some colorists and getting some, like he's always working with other people. And yeah, it's like, and there's a reason why he works an outside job, that because yeah, this getting a book colored is expensive, and the better the colorist, yeah, the more expensive it's going to be. And honestly, I'm of the type where it's like you either do it right or you don't do it. I mean, it's like I don't believe in getting a cheaper, less quality option just to have it done. You know, I mean, I don't think, I think I think that's a big mistake that people make. That it's like they want their books in color, but they can't afford it. So they kind of like spend the money on a lesser quality effort, I guess. And I'd rather just push through still doing it myself than get coloring that I have to put up with, as opposed to just liking or loving. Actually, I mean, honestly, if I'm paying for something, I want to love it. So yeah, so when am I gonna stop being I've you know what, it's like let's get my campaigns to like let me get my campaigns to like, I don't know, five figures. Yeah, it's like yeah, let me do a $10,000 campaign and we can kind of revisit that. you know yeah, it's the same thing with me, Joe. It's like pay them with exposure, right? Yeah, no. Yeah, that's the fastest way to get people to hate you. I'll never get anybody. You can't pay rent with exposure dollars. So let me put this aside now. So we got a little coloring done. And but yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm the same way, Joe. I can like hand coloring, especially. I can do the covers, but I can't do actual pages with that. And I think, and I think my digital coloring is okay for what for my style. So I'm okay with doing that for a while. But if I'm going to hire somebody, it's like I'm going to be very particular about who I'm hiring and what I want my pages to look like. So when will I stop? So let's get me to a $10,000 campaign on the regular, and then we'll see about actually getting books colored. Although here's the thing. It's like, if I were to start getting someone else to color my book, okay, let's just think hypothetically. Here's the thing. It would drive me absolutely nuts that the entire series doesn't match. So it's like, I would be that type where it's like, oh, I can get somebody to color my books now, and then it would be killing me that there would be issues before then that didn't match. So I would have to pay to get those issues recolored so that everything would be consistent. So that's a whole other issue too. It's like, exposure dollars are their new NFTs. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Mount Everest is literally covered in bodies of the people who died of exposure. So we're good. I think we're good with that. Let's see. Well, I mean, it's like, but that's what it is. I mean, these are all decisions that we have to make when it comes to I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be worth it. That's the thing. It's like the time because in the end, it's like, it's like, what's worth more, time or money? And and it's like, and I know it would be technically worth it for me to get somebody to color my stuff completely. But I guess like mentally I'm not in that space yet, where I'm ready to get somebody else. Hold on. Ooh. Yeah, you see, that's the problem with emptying out this office, is that it kicks up all this dust that hasn't been moved for like God knows how long. So it's like, just by removing the last shelving here, it's like, I guess was just enough to have me, sneezing in here, the whole time. Hold on. It's like, yeah, this, I mean, in the end, it's like redoing the office was necessary for a lot of reasons. So, oh yeah, that's funny. Non-findable trekkers. No, actually, the worst part of Everest is that they all know where the bodies are. It's just that it's too dangerous to move them, because they're frozen into the mountainside. That they said that they know where the bodies are of the original, like people who climbed Everest in the 20s. They know where those bodies are. And it's to the point where the bodies that are frozen on the side of Everest, they use them as distance markers. I mean, it is so grotesque. It's like, it's like, oh, you see that guy in the, like, there's like a particular one, like in a red jacket, in a red that they use. I mean, there's a particular one that gets used as a, I mean, but pretty much all of them do. They all know where the bodies are. It's just that it's too dangerous to get them. So yeah, so it's like, I don't know whether the reality is kind of funnier than the joke, than the actual joke. If you want to call using dead bodies as distance markers funny, I mean, I don't know. Thank you. It's just I guess it's an audience thing, finding the audience, signal to noise. I try not to let that get to me, considering how long I have been doing this. Because yeah, it's like there's so many people that, especially in these last 2 years, it feels like that I'm gaining a brand new audience. Like, so I am finding people. So it's just finding all of them. I mean, but that's kind of like a marketing holy grail type of thing. So in general, so I know if people are not flocking to me, it's because they don't know I exist. So the trick is trying to spread the word enough that that's exactly what happens. I mean, it is happening. My last campaign had 170 something backers. And they didn't, and it's like, yeah, it took 4 issues to find them. But yeah, so they're beginning to come out. It's just continuing to find them. And just making sure they see my stuff. Oh, well, yes. Well, thank you. That's right. yeah, it's like yeah, we all have expertise and showing it to the right audience. And that's in the end that's what it is. I mean, it's just finding our audience in this. I mean, you got to remember. I mean, it's like we are literally working in a global marketplace. You know, just by being online. So that's a lot of people that have to that you have to show yourself to, and they have to find you. You know, it's like, how do you stand out against what is it, 8 billion people? And mind you, and not all 8 billion people are online. So that's, you know, that's always a thing. Let's see. So Joe says, there are times where I feel like I am never ready for prime time with audiences. Here's the secret, Joe. We're never ready for prime time. I mean, like, when I started doing this, I just started doing it. I mean, it never, I don't know, it just, like, okay, like, I knew I wasn't the type of artist that was going to end up at Marvel or DC. That I understood. But I don't know. It's like, but it's just like, I just kept going. And it's like, I knew that from a small press perspective, I don't know. I just like figured, well, okay, I'm never gonna work at Marvel in DC, so that was kind of like my basis of comparison. So I was like, I'm just gonna continue. I'm just gonna do this way. I mean, honestly, it's like, to this day, I really don't feel like I'm ready for prime time either. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like there are days that I just feel like I'm still an amateur just beginning to find my own, you know, just beginning to really like have things click that should have clicked decades ago, but didn't, you know. And it's like, you know, yeah, it's like, yeah, I am never going to be like Arthur Adams or Adam Hughes, or, you know, I'm never going to be Terry Moore. I'm never going to be these people. My work is, you know, and there just comes a point where it's like, you kind of have to accept that and still do it anyway. And that's how I pretty much function. It's like, yeah, is there stuff lacking in my work? Sure. You know, there's always going to be. I know that there's always going to be something I have to work on. But, you know, but in the end, it's like, what else am I doing? You know? I regret not having launched Bone Meal for Webtoon. And that was a mistake I made as well with EGORAVEN. I had put EGORAVEN on Webtoon. I mean, I went through that was a lot of effort. That I had reformatted everything, all the pages. I think I didn't put up issue 5 though. I don't think I made it to issue 5. Or did I? I don't remember. I mean, but it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, you had everybody going, oh, Webtoon. And it's like, okay, let me put EGORAVEN on Webtoon. And I went through the process of reformat. I did the same thing with some issues of Tall Tales too. I was putting up Tall Tales on Webtoon. So I think I had my stuff up there for like 2 years. And I was like, I am wasting my time. Like it literally came to that conclusion where it's like, you know, it was a lot of effort for me. You know, it was a lot of effort for me to prep everything onto Webtoons and to work with that format. Mind you, it's a format I abhor. I really, really hate the Webtoons format. I hate that like optimizing for reading on a phone. I mean, I understand it, but I can't do that. I can't. It's like I don't read comics on a phone. So when I use I hate that form because it's awful on a desktop. So yeah, so it's like there just came a point where I said I'm wasting my time, and it's not giving me any returns whatsoever. It's not like I was seeing any crossover from it. You know, it's kind of like what happens on Webtoons stays on Webtoons. It doesn't, like, nobody goes outside of, like, if they don't go to your websites, they don't go to your store, you know, they don't. It's like they're just there for the free content and that's it. And after 2 years, I was like going, I'm not going to waste my time. And I just deleted everything. I deleted both archives off of Webtoons. Because it just wasn't worth my time. And it's like, you know, and in the end, it's like, I think that, you know, that's not, never confuse quitting with kind of like strategic pivoting, you know, let's just put it that way. It's like, I didn't quit Webtoons. I realized it wasn't working for me, and I decided to strategically let it go. And honestly, I don't miss it. I think that I'm, like I said, I mean, you probably could have to pay me. You probably would have to pay me to put stuff back on Webtoon, honestly, just for the amount of work to format everything. You know, I'm not saying that it's not a good idea. I mean, there are people who were able to make it work. God bless them. You know, it's like, but for me also, Webtoons was a waste of my time. It didn't work for me at all. But at least I could say I know that for certain. That's the thing. At least I know for certain that's, you know, Webtoons was not going to work for me. So yeah, so that I definitely feel you on that too, you know, because yeah. Because even if I could figure out, it's like, oh, well, maybe it was because I didn't have it in color and this, that, and because honestly, I think that was my big suspicion, that because it wasn't in color, it really didn't get a pop at all. But again, it's like I wasn't going to. I'm at a point where it's like I'm okay with not finding out. It's like, okay, oh, so you like Newsgrounds? Okay, I mean, yeah, it's finding it's finding the places. Yeah, you know what? That's what it felt like. Yeah, it's the digital exposure, you know, of Mount Everest. Yeah, it's that's what it felt like, but with absolutely like no benefit whatsoever. You're just dying on the side of a mountain, you know, and being stuck, and everyone's just using you as a marker. You know, it's like, oh, there's, you know, it's like, no, yeah, I don't miss it. I don't miss it. Let's see. Let's see. Where do I print on demand? I use a place called. Oh, I would have to look at. What is it? What is it called? Hold on. Image Now. IMAGE now, NOW by Mahar, MAHAR. Let me see if I can put that in the it's not the link. Hold on. Image now. Here we go. So I print with these guys. Hold on, let me see. Can I put this in the chat here? Or do I have to go to, let's see. Let's see, let me see. Did that show up? Okay. All right, so that should have shown up. Image now. Okay. All right. Oh yeah. All right. So it's there. That's the printer that I use for my comics. If you wanted to try them out. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, crowdfunding, Comixology, or cons. Yeah, and the thing is though, it's like, and even Comixology, I'm not impressed by. Let's see. Yeah, because Comixology was also another format that I felt was kind of like a waste of time to put our books up, and now we don't bother with that at all. I haven't put up anything new for a while. I mean, but that's the thing though. It's like we don't know what works until we actually do them. And then it's like we kind of have to learn our lessons in blood, kind of, kind of way. Let's see. I just see so many folks who ride the waves of campaigns. I don't have an Amazon. Because here's the funny thing. So not funny, haha, but I don't have things on Amazon because it's currently an expense that I know for a fact does not pay for itself. So, because it's like for me to be able to put my stuff on Amazon, I have to pay like, a monthly fee or whatnot. And I know for a fact I don't, like, most of my sales right now, they come from campaigns. So that's why it's like I'm kind of like focused right now on them. So yeah, so that's the thing. I do have my own store. I mean, honestly, it's like I would like to push more people towards my store, but right now it's all campaigns. There's just something about I guess the way Kickstarter is set up and the amount of people that are set up on Kickstarter, where it's just very easy for them to follow so many people and so many books at the same time and support campaigns and whatnot. So yeah, that's where most of my sales are. You see, that's the thing. It's like a lot of these, like, finding new revenue streams really does require it requires that learning curve, and sometimes that learning curve has an actual price to it. And yeah, right now I just don't right now it's not a thing for me to do. It's not a priority for me to kind of like figure out, okay, how do I make Amazon work? How do I sell books through Amazon? Because it's not something that I want to write off. I mean, there's yeah. Oh, there's a name I haven't heard in a while, right? Max Black Rabbit. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of thing, because I know that, it's kind of like the whole build it and they will come, and it's like, okay, but do I really want to spend the time building it to find out that maybe they won't? And right now, yeah, it's just not a thing I'm prioritizing right now. So yeah, it's it's kind of like all of this. I guess like this conversation is kind of like it's like the markers, it's like the inking, the pens. It's like, in the end, it's like everything is just another tool, and of course you have to learn how to use a tool properly to get the maximum benefit out of it. And just because one tool works really, really well doesn't mean the others don't. It's just that right now I'm not making it a priority to learn all the other tools. That's kind of what it is. I have to, I have to prioritize my time, and yeah, that's kind of what it is. So yeah, so I think that, at the rate that I'm going, my flatter will be very happy to actually get pages from me when I told her the first week of May. So it's looking like by about Friday I can have these pages to her. So she can get actually the pages earlier. Let's see. Because I'm looking forward to moving on to the next thing. Like I said, it's like after I'm done with these pages, I have to start working on issue 8, penciling issue 8 for EGORAVEN, and then I have to finish issue 6 of Tall Tales, and then pencil, and then just have to do 7 and 8 of Tall Tales as well to finish that. So so my year got a little busy, got a little more crowded with that. So because I would like to have all these books done by the end of the year, just so just to have everything ready, let's see. Even just penciling and inking, it's a lot of time I have to set aside, because Yeah, the one, yeah, because yeah, definitely though. When I am definitely able to get a full time, like a full colorist, I will definitely do that. But now it's not the time. Yeah, and like I said too, it's like I would then it's like I like, oh, now I have to get all the books recolored. Yeah. No. Unless I split the difference and get somebody who can imitate the style that I'm using for my coloring. So it doesn't look too different. Maybe that's what it is. I need to get somebody who can imitate my style, and then I don't have to worry about having to redo anything. Let's see. Let's see. I have a knack for asking odd questions. Well, I mean, they're not odd questions. I mean, it's like they're good questions, because it's like, I guess what makes them odd is that, I don't know. I know that a lot of professionals, there's a lot of people who, for some reason, they don't like answering those types of questions, just what we were talking about today, because it's like they kind of think that, oh, they're giving away their secrets. And it's like, you're not giving away anything, It's like, calm down. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I guess they're just like too many people who it's like there are people who won't even tell you who they print their comics with. I mean, that's the weird thing. They think that, oh, no. It's like, because if you print with them, then you're competing. It's like, the one has nothing to do with the other. It's like, yeah, it's like, so, yeah, I guess, I mean, what's really odd is that you're asking these questions and people are actually answering them. I think that might be the odd part. Maybe that's the part we're not used to. I mean, I understand. It's like, I kind of understand the whole thing about, oh, I did all this research myself, you should do it too, and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, okay, I understand the sentiment, but at the same time, it's like, all right, if I did something and realized that, it's like, okay, this is what I learned from it. It's like, it doesn't take anything away from me to tell you my experience so that you can skip a couple of steps. It's like, okay, we found, it's like, we asked about a guy's printer and he gave us this printer's name, and that was it. So it's like, so if anybody asks me for the printer, it's like, well, here's the printer that I use, try them. And I've recommended them, many times. I mean, it's like, I don't lose anything by holding information. I mean, I never understood that attitude. So, so if you have any questions, odd or not, I mean, feel free to ask. I mean, if I don't answer it, obviously somebody in the chat's willing to answer. So, but yeah, it's like, if I can make somebody's life easier with the information that I can give, it's like, here you go. Go at it. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So here, wow. Okay, so this, wow, today went by pretty fast. So here we are, almost at the 2-hour mark. So let me just kind of finish this. So there we go. So yeah, so okay, good. So here we are. Okay. Oh, you got more sketches? Okay, yeah. It's like whatever accountability sketches. Go right ahead. Never forget your accountability sketches. Sketch every day. Loosen that wrist, Joe. Loosen the wrists. Make sure you loosen that wrist. Also, absolutely. It's like questions are always welcome. And like I said, if I'm not answering it, someone in the chat's answering it. So you're going to get an answer from somewhere. We're more than happy to answer questions. Like I said, I don't see the need to hide any information for what we do. So, so always feel free to answer questions. So here we go. So that's what we accomplished today. We did some inking, a little coloring. At least I got this book started. So once I get over the hump of starting, then it's like, okay, then it gets easier to finish. So there you go. So I'm going to be finishing this stuff after these pieces, this page and that cover after after the stream is over. But we actually, so let me just stop that there. And so there we go. So there we go. Yeah. So this is what we accomplished today, slowly but surely. It's like I always say, this is more like the streams. Yes. Do I get some work done? Yes. Do I get as much work as I could do? No. But you know what? Where it's like a convention. It's like we're here, we're hanging out, we're having a good time, we're talking to each other. We're watching some artwork get done, and it's just it's an experience more than a real working thing. But real work does get done. So there we go. So that's what we're here for. So all right. So here we go. So let's go back to that. Poof. And there you have it. So here we are at the top of 2 hours again. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat for joining me today as I worked. And yes, and I do appreciate all the questions being asked, all the comments. I did try to make sure I caught everybody's comment. It's a little tough going back and forth. Between, everything, actually, with working and catching. So if I didn't catch you, it's like, I'm sorry I didn't put you on the screen or anything, but I know you're there. I appreciate you being in the chat. I do eventually see you, maybe not at the moment that you want me to, but I do know you're there. And so I just want to thank everybody for being in the chat. I want to thank everybody who's watching right now from wherever you're watching us from. All of us. Yes, because, you're joining us in the chat too. The chat is part of the show too. So that's it. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to spend time with me and listen to me ramble. But you know what? It's all good. It's like it's like I said, it's kind of like until we start seeing each other at conventions, this is the closest we get to right now. So on that note, thanks again. And if you want to see more of my work and learn more about what I do and whatnot, you can head over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. Some of them are right here as well, but I mostly hang out on Facebook if you want to see regular updates from me. And like I said, you don't need to wait for a friend request. You don't need to send a friend request. You can just go ahead and follow my page. Everything is every post is public. So you'll get you won't miss anything. And it's like so it's like you can check out all my work in progress, all my doodles, all my whatever's going on. It's like Facebook is where I update the most. If you want that. So, but yes, and also you can catch me here on YouTube on my channel at Daphne Lage Art every Wednesday at 4 p.m. I will be doing this stream as much as I can. It's like so far I've been able to keep it regular, so it's good. And you can also catch me on the Rage and 2 channel with Nita Mondays, Fridays at 11 a.m. for more, more dedicated vlogs about, whatever information you need to know or whatever, social media and doing comics and whatnot. You get more specific, more concentrated conversation. Oh, there we go. Now I'm seeing myself stop right here. There we go. Okay, so we're back. So, yeah, and also at egoworks.com, you can read the first 5 issues of EGORAVEN, Heir the First Unicorn, in its original black and white format. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. So if you want to check out the Thieves Quest story arc, it's all there, but the books are nicer. But like I said, it's like, but Kickstarter, just watch out for the Kickstarters coming up. And don't forget to sign up for the monthly newsletters while you're on either of the sites so that you'll get straight into your mailbox, straight into your email, updates about when all my Kickstarter campaigns, when all the new books comes out, when all the remastered books come out, when all my books come out. So you'll get straight into your email by signing up, along with getting $40 worth of PDFs, comic book PDFs to try out. So there we go. So thanks again. Like I said, you could have been anywhere else, but you decided to spend it with me, and I'm very humbled by that. And on that, I just want to thank everybody again, and I will see you on the next stream. So as I do my awkward turn, because the main computer, I will bid you all a good night, and wherever you are, you have to go to bed eventually. So thank you again, and bye. Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Rage Into the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Rage Into channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button